In today's video, we're going to make this adorable notepad. This uses some parts and pieces of projects that I've had laying around and never used. These are actually card kits for Anna Griffith. I've probably had them 6 years or more than that probably. And when I saw them today while cleaning up some other items, I thought this would just be an adorable, more vintage style notepad. So what I'm going to be doing today is just that. These notepads are from Amazon. They're not expensive at all. I had some left in my stash from a different project. So this is definitely a project that uses a lot of things that I already have laying around. So it is literally no cost. I am going to be selling these in an upcoming craft fair, as well as in my vendor booth. There will be information on my blog regarding the vendor booth. If you have any questions, just email those to me. So the first thing you do need to do is to measure your notepad. This one measures in at 4x6. And so I have cut my base cardstock down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, giving me plenty of room for this notepad. Then I'm going to be scoring it at the top of the notepad, moving that score line 1/4 of an inch, and scoring it again. Then I'm going to be using some vegan 3-in-1 glue to attach that notebook into the now what is going to be a folder, and that's pretty much it for construction. So that the project has more definition and pizzazz, I've decided to use some pattern scrapbooking paper from my collection. This particular paper pack is, I'm sure, long since retired. It is from Prima Marketing. To bring everything together with all of the pieces, I do take my time, and I use some Gathered Twigs Distress Oxide ink from Ranger to sponge the edges, just so that, like I said, everything is cohesive. This only takes a few minutes, but it sure does offer a lot of pop. When you're using a standard 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, the cardstock isn't going to meet all the way down on both sides. So to remedy this, I just simply attach the two pieces together using that. To keep from having a really big mess on my hands, I use a small squeeze bottle that I deposit some of that vegan 3-in-1 glue into. And as you can kind of see toward the first of this frame, I was struggling to get the glue out because I hadn't cleaned the tip out. Honestly, this didn't need to happen. I just needed to have left the cap on and I wouldn't have the problem. So learn from my mistakes. You do want to take your time during this process and make sure everything is as straight and even as you can get it. The good thing about this is if you do get a fingerprint on that notepad, you're just going to tear the sheet right out and continue to use it just like it never happened. Trust me, the recipient will never miss the few pages. Right here is where I'm going to join a second piece of cardstock onto the first, so that I have a piece that's big enough to cover the entire length of the note. The pattern paper for the front of this note card is measuring in at 4 1/4. It's actually about 6 1/8 inches long, but to make sure everything matches, I just use my glue to glue everything down, and then I'm going to use my scissors to cut it to length. This just makes it a cleaner finished edge, and it also just, I think, makes it look a little bit more finished and professional. These Anna Griffith kits come with all types of layering pieces, and the actual, what would have been the card front of the layering piece, is what I'm going to be using for the front of my note card. So in order to prepare this piece, I do go ahead and sponge the edges of the piece. This is the point in which I decided to go ahead and use the Gathered Twigs Distress Oxide ink from Ranger to sponge these edges. I am using one of the round blender brushes that I've had in my collection. The ones from Hobby Lobby are exactly the same as the Ranger, and I couldn't honestly tell you if this one is from Ranger or if it's generic from like Hobby Lobby. So that just goes to show that you need to save money where you can, especially when you're making these types of projects. It honestly is so therapeutic to make things like this, especially if you're going to sell them. But as well as selling them, they make fabulous gifts for your girlfriends or your mother for her birthday or Mother's Day or things like that. Here you see me going around the edge of that panel with that Distress ink just to get things to be cohesive and tied together. Once again, I'm doing this because it does give it a finished, more professional look. Since my vision is not near what it used to be back in the day, I do take the time, in this case, to do a quick measure of that layering piece to be sure that it is completely straight on that panel. Now I'm going to take the layering die cut pieces from the set that match the panel I'm using, and I'm going to pop them out. Be careful when you're popping them out as to not rip them. There are plenty in this kit for you to make many of these notepads, but you still want to be careful. In order to tie this together, I do use some of that Distress Oxide ink around the layers of each of these pieces, just to tie them all together. Right now, I do have you in 3 times fast forward mode, just so that we can speed through the sponging and attaching of these layers one on top of the other. It's really a very redundant process. I'm going to play you a little bit of music here for a minute or two, and then I'll join you towards the end of the project.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare, and I wanna take you there. I would give it all away to do it all again. Make our love a story that would never end. Never thought I'd feel so alive, looking in your eyes. I just wanna love you till the day I die. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better. 'Cause a love like this is rare, and I wanna take you there. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time.
If you haven't and you'd like to be, please subscribe to my channel, leave me a thumbs up, and don't forget to share my videos on your social media. Here are some other videos of mine that I hope that you will also enjoy. Stay happy and be a blessing. Have a great day. Bye for now.